Who the fuck's riding with you that got the balls to pull a strap on me?
We all know why the four senators this week were grilling Khadijah Brown Jackson hard on sex offenders. We know it's about racism, we know it's about sexism, but it's also about airtime with the biggest propaganda machine in the country. I'm about to read you an article from TalkingPointsMemo.com, written by Kate Ridger. All four Senate Republicans who heckled Jackson on sex offenders were rewarded with Fox News airtime. Senators Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, Tom Cotton, and Lindsey Graham got what they set out to do in their performances during Judge Khadijah Brown Jackson's confirmation hearing on Wednesday, and that was airtime with Fox News. The four heckled her with raised voices and consistent interruptions on her record of sentencing people in possession of child pornography. Their theatrical intent was clear at the time. Many repeatedly asked questions that she had already answered, and cut her off when she tried to explain the complicated processes of sentencing in those crimes. Hawley asked repeatedly if Jackson regrets her sentences, picking out lines from a handful of cases he thought sounding damning for her. Graham slammed the thesis and dramatically stormed off from the chamber when his time was concluded. Cruz appeared to check his mentions on Twitter after shouting at Jackson and trying to prevent the next questioner, Senator Chris Coons, Democrat of Delaware, from taking over. The core of their argument, that Jackson had been unacceptably lenient with those in possession of child pornography, has been debunked by nearly every large news outlet. Representatives from the American Bar Association, after interviewing hundreds of people, said they found no evidence, including from prosecutors, that Jackson downgraded sentences for those kinds of crimes. But of course, these senators weren't seeking clearly to question about her record. Nearly all are known to have designs of higher office and know how the right-wing media ecosystem works. A theatrical performance rooted in an exceptionally dark fixation on the right wing of the party made to sneer and humiliate a black woman, rates clicks and eyebrows. And it worked. All four got booked on Fox News Wednesday. The charlatans have often fearing the senators' defaming campaigns. GOP exposes Judge Jackson's radicalism blazed across the screen beneath Tom Cotton's interview with Lauren Ingraham.
But Judge Jackson, like so many far left activists, thinks that mandatory minimums for drug crimes are too harsh, just like she apparently thinks that mandatory minimums for child pornography are too harsh. She consistently sentences on the lowest end of the sentencing guidelines or even deviates downward from the sentencing guidelines. That's what we've seen over the last 2 days examining her record, as she is a far-left activist who always, almost always, finds a way to sympathize with the criminals, not with the victims.
Ingram played clips of Cotton's performance on her show and hyped Cotton's various accusations. Far from fact-checking his demonstrably false accusations, Ingram expressed her incredulity about Jackson's decision in a separate immigration case. Josh Hawley got his performance showcased on Sean Hannity's show, where he could spew that debunked claim without feel of a fact check.
Sean was 3 months 3 months. He was eligible for up to 10 years in prison. She gave him 3 months, and she apologized to him. I mean, listen, we've had now over 20 hours of questioning in the Judiciary Committee, and I think her record is pretty clear when it comes to crime, and especially crimes against children. This is somebody who apologizes to the criminals. This is someone who has handed out one lenient sentence after another, especially when it comes to these child sex crimes. And frankly, this is somebody who I just can't support.
Hannity, who spearheaded this line of attack, has been bashing his arguments on a handful of cases, and he attempted to winnow away from their context. Cruz went on Jesse Waters' Primetime, saying much of the same, adding in some stomach-churning details from the child pornography cases the senator has cherry-picked. Graham also went on Hannity and says he knows, quote, why demand justice saw in her such favorable light after 2 days of hearings, unquote, referring to a progressive liberal advocacy group that's a special villain for the far right. These kind of performances, clearly meant to enhance these men's standing on the right, is more of the, quote, jackassery in service of fame that Senator Ben Sasse, Republican of Nebraska, dismissed on Wednesday. It is a key part in turning a smear into a full-fledged disinformation campaign. Fox News amplifies the lies, and Democrats often give them authority that they don't deserve. Durham made a statement during the hearing Wednesday about Republicans' attempt to get pre-sentencing reports in child pornography cases, potentially exposing details of violence to underage victims in the service of a line of attack that is a total distortion. Now, in its natural progression, figures on the right are trying to turn the fabricated smear into a full-on campaign to knock down Jackson's confirmation. Those like the head of the Judicial Watch and Donald Trump Jr. are urging Senators Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, Democrats, to buck the party on important issues and public settings to turn against Jackson on the basis of baseless accusations. There's no indication as of yet that the campaign is succeeding. Earlier this week, Manchin dismissed the accusations. Is Hawley right? Take it for what it's worth, he told the reporters. We all know why they're doing this, for the media attention, mainly because they're racist, maybe because they're sexist. But all of this is going to blow up in their faces. We received word not too long ago that Joe Manchin is going to vote for the confirmation of Judge Jackson to the Supreme Court. But even if Jackson isn't confirmed, these senators showed what the Republican Party is now: sexist, racist, and hypocritical. The cases of Congressman Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan are still out there, and they're not going to be forgotten, just like they tried not to forget or tried to use the lies about Justice Jackson, about Judge Jackson, to further their own careers. And there's another reason why a lot of these people are doing this, these four senators especially, to get in good and to hopefully get the inside track in the hopes of becoming the running mate for this man. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.